Well, hello and welcome. It's great to see you all here this morning. If you've made it here, whether you're a regular at St Mary's Wunwell or St George's Jump, or whether you're from somewhere else, it's great to have you along. Welcome to the Ezra file on YouTube. This is part of our fight back against the coronavirus. Because, as you will know, for the first time since apparently 1208, the first time since the 13th century, first time in 800 years, the Church of England has suspended public worship. It means we can't meet in church for our regular worship services anymore until the coronavirus emergency has gone by, or at least gone to manageable proportions, I suppose. We will be meeting here at this site until the Church of England lifts its restrictions on us. So, what are we going to be doing? Well, we're going to be doing basically two things. Starting from tomorrow, which will be Thursday, every day at 9:30, I will be live streaming from here, from my studio, or maybe even from church. I don't know, we'll see. Depends how we can get the technology to work. But anyway, every morning at 9:30 we'll be live streaming from here. We're going to do a little bit of a Bible reading. We're going to actually read our way through Mark's Gospel. We're going to read the Bible. We're going to read a chapter of Mark's Gospel every day. That's where we're going to start. We're going to have a short prayer time, and you might get one or two blessed thoughts on Mark's Gospel as well. So there you go. That's the first thing that we're going to do. So that's every morning, apart from Sundays and apart from my day off, which is usually Wednesdays. But every morning, 9:30, you'll be able to tune in the Ezra file on YouTube. You will be able to join in this short act of worship. And on Sundays, at 10 o'clock on Sunday, which is our normal Sunday morning service time, at 10 o'clock on Sunday, I will be there, technology permitting. I will be there at St Mary's Church, and I will preach a sermon as I normally do. And if we can get some music on it as well, we'll get some music on it, and we'll have a prayer time as we normally do as part of our Sunday morning services. And so that's what we're going to do. We are going to fight back against the coronavirus. So if you want to be part of that, probably the easiest thing to do, if you want to be part of all that live streaming. Oh, I should say as well that my sermon will be recorded on Podbean so that you can access it later on Podbean. So if you haven't downloaded the Podbean app yet or been to the Podbean website, please go there and register, and you will be able to get my sermons. Just type in the Ezra File podcast in Podbean and you'll be able to get them there. But if you want to be part of this, if you want to be part of the live streaming that's going to be going on, then probably the easiest thing for you to do, I think, is if you're down at the where's my finger gone? Down at the left hand side, look to the bottom left of your screen. If you look at the bottom left of your screen on YouTube, you'll see the red subscribe button. If you click that red subscribe button, then you will get the notifications when we're up and running, or whenever anything is posted. So please do click that red subscribe button. I'll count to 3, give you a chance to do it. 1, 2, 3. Right, you've done it. Well done. Okay, so you'll be kept up to date now, just using that subscribe button. So that's what we're going to do. But you might ask yourself the question, is this church? Is doing all this church? Well, on one level, it isn't, I suppose, to be honest. Or at least it's highly debatable whether it's church. On one level, church, our English word church, we translate the Greek word ecclesia. Ecclesia means, quite literally, those who are called out. Those who are called out to meet together. It means a congregation and an assembly, ecclesia. And obviously, at the moment, we can't meet together. We're not allowed to. The Archbishop of Canterbury, the Archbishop of York tells us we can't meet together, or at least not in a large group anyway. Well, that's true. That's all true. But on another level, what we are going to do is church. Because why do we come to church as Christians? Why do we meet together? Well, we meet together to worship. to give God his honour and his due. We meet together to nurture ourselves in our faith. We meet together to encourage one another in our faith. And we meet together to edify ourselves, to build ourselves up in our faith. And that's what's going to happen on these YouTube live casts. This is part of trying to nurture one another as we meet together in this, what is, unprecedented really situation. And as we meet together, even in this situation, we want to encourage one another in our faith. We want to build one another up in our faith. We want to honour God. We want to give him his due, because at the end of the day, God is bigger than the coronavirus. And we want to encourage one another to live out our faith. And that's what we've got to do. That's what we've got to do in this coronavirus outbreak at the moment. You'll know from past times, I say to a friend of mine from back in Manchester days, he used to say to me that if you say that you're a Christian, the whole world watches you. If you say you're a Christian, the whole world watches you. And that is actually true. And the whole world is watching us. Do we have anything to say as Christians? How will we carry on in this time of this emergency time, I suppose? Will we just carry on the same as everybody else carries on, or can we live out our faith in a distinctive way? When others look at us, do they say, well, actually, there's something different about them? And so, if you listen to these live casts, whether that's through the week or whether you listen on Sunday, regard them as a way that you can recharge your spiritual batteries. So for the rest of the time, you can live out your faith in front of your family, in front of your friends, in the community, or wherever it is. That's what we're doing. And because we're doing that, then I think on another level, this is church. This is what church is meant to be about. So that's what we're going to do. And that's why we are going to do it. So we're going to do these live casts. And as I say, my sermon on Sunday will be available on Podbean. And I will say what I'm going to do on Sunday. I am actually going to preach a sermon about the coronavirus. I am actually going to preach a sermon how we can respond spiritually, how we can respond theologically to the coronavirus. I read an article from the Daily Telegraph a couple of days ago online, and it was written by a guy called Simon Heffer, who's an atheist, and he said basically, does the church have anything to say? This is an unprecedented situation. These are matters of life and death. Does the church have anything that's worth saying that the atheists like me should think about? And I actually think we do. I think we have some very important, very powerful things to say, and that's what I'm going to do on Sunday. I'm going to say them. So there you go. Please do join in. But the Ezra file will be available on podcast, and the normal Ezra file, the everyday Ezra file, where we started on Facebook, that is still carrying on as well. And we've got some goodies coming up on the Ezra file on the Facebook, our traditional Facebook setup. I'm reading a couple of books at the moment. Here's one of them. Tom Holland, Dominion, a historian. Tom Holland is saying the making of the Western mind. It's about the influence of Christianity on Western society, the formative and the transformative effect that Christianity has had in Western society. And I'm sort of like 300 pages into it at the moment, and I'm up to chapter 13. There you go. Reformation. 1520 at Wittenberg. We're at Luther's Reformation. We've been through the Roman Empire. We've been through the patristic period, done the Middle Ages, and now we're on to the Reformation, which is actually more my kind of thing. I never kind of quite identified with the patristic period. Never kind of quite identified with medieval theology. But from the Reformation onwards, then the Enlightenment, and the birth of the modern world in the 20th century, well, that's much more my sort of thing. So I'm hoping to read through that, and we'll do a review of Tom Holland's book. And another book that I'm reading at the moment is this guy here, Yuval Noah Harari, a book called Sapiens, A Brief History of Humankind. It's supposed to be a scientific attempt to understand human beings. Actually, there's not a vast amount of science in it, I must admit, so far. But it does raise some very, I think, important philosophical, even theological questions as to who we are and what we are. And the history that he's telling. I've never done German, so I'm about to get corrected by people who are watching in Germany. But I believe German has two words for history. There's historisch, which is the kind of passage of time, the events as they come to us. The other one is a word called Geschichte, which is like more of a philosophical interpretation of history. This, as I see, I'm about, I don't know, nearly halfway through it. This definitely is Geschichte more than historisch, I would say. But anyway, we'll sort out Yuval Noah Harari when we finish. So we'll have a look at those things. So there's plenty to occupy us. There's plenty to do, yeah. One last thing, of course, as you know, on the Ezra File, whether we're on Facebook, whether we're on Podbean, or whether we're here now on YouTube, we like music, and there is some music that fits our our situation today. Here you go. Is another one from my record collection from 1983. Peter Gabriel Plays Live. That's his live album from 1983. A rather striking cover there. That was his makeup, his stage, part of his stage act back in 1983. Peter Gabriel in the early 80s produced what I think some stunningly brilliant synth rock, synth pop albums in the early 80s, and a lot of that music features on here. It's actually a bit more rock than synth actually live, but anyway, there you go. But in one of the songs on there, I think it's the penultimate song on the album. See if I can get it closer for you. There you go. You can just about see that, the penultimate song on the air, so that I can go out on the air. Well, that's what we're doing this for. We're going to be going on the air. So until we meet again, be seeing you.